The encounter. In a distant galaxy, humanity thrived, having expanded its reach across numerous star systems. The United Earth Alliance, UEA, led this golden era of exploration and discovery. However, peace was not guaranteed in the cosmos, and the UEA's fleet command was always vigilant. One fateful day, an unknown signal was detected from a previously uncharted region of space. The signal was faint yet persistent, a curious anomaly that intrigued the scientific community. The UEA dispatched the starship Aurora, captained by the seasoned explorer Captain Elias Gray, to investigate. Accompanying him were a diverse crew of scientists, engineers, and security personnel, all eager to uncover the mystery behind the signal. As the Aurora approached the signal's origin, the crew discovered an ancient, derelict spaceship of unknown origin. Its architecture was unlike anything humanity had encountered before. Dr. Aisha Patel, the ship's leading xenobiologist, speculated that it could be a relic from a long-lost civilization. Excitement buzzed through the crew as they prepared to board the derelict vessel, eager to uncover its secrets. Inside, the ship was dark and eerie, with corridors that seemed to stretch endlessly. Strange markings adorned the walls, and the air was filled with a low hum, like a distant chant. The crew split into teams, each tasked with exploring different sections of the ship. Captain Gray led a group to the control center, hoping to find logs or data that could explain the ship's origin and purpose. As they delved deeper, the crew encountered a massive chamber filled with pods. Some were cracked open, while others remained sealed. Dr. Patel examined the pods and theorized they were cryogenic chambers. However, the real surprise came when they discovered the ship's central command, a massive room with a single ancient console still faintly glowing. Gray approached the console and, with a cautious breath, activated it. To their astonishment, a holographic projection emerged, depicting a tall, ethereal figure. The figure spoke in a language none of them understood, but the urgency in its voice was unmistakable. As Dr. Patel worked to decipher the message, the crew felt a strange presence, as if the ship itself were watching them. The hologram finally stabilized, and the figure's message became clear. The derelict ship belonged to a race known as the Anorans, who had once been the guardians of the galaxy. They warned of an ancient, deadly entity that had awoken from its slumber, an entity known as the Devourer. The Anorans had tried to stop the Devourer but failed, leaving their ship as a warning to future civilizations. As the crew absorbed this revelation, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared, and the lights flickered. Captain Gray quickly ordered a retreat, but before they could escape, a massive creature burst through the walls. It was a towering beast, with eyes that glowed a deep crimson and a body covered in chitinous armor. The Devourer had awakened. With no time to lose, the crew fought valiantly, but the Devourer was nearly invincible. It seemed unstoppable, its every move calculated to cause maximum destruction. Just as all hope seemed lost, Captain Gray noticed something peculiar. The creature hesitated whenever it neared the pods. Realizing that the pods contained something that could harm the Devourer, Gray made a bold decision. He ordered the team to activate all the pods simultaneously. The resulting surge of energy caused the Devourer to recoil, its roars filling the chamber. In a desperate gambit, Gray managed to lure the beast toward the central console. With a final, defiant push, he activated the ship's self-destruct sequence. The crew barely escaped as the ancient ship erupted in a blinding explosion, taking the Devourer with it, or so they thought. As the Aurora drifted away from the wreckage, the crew's relief was short-lived. Dr. Patel discovered a disturbing truth. The Devourer was not dead. The ancient data indicated that the creature could only be contained, not destroyed. Captain Gray knew they had to warn Earth and the entire galaxy about the impending threat. Thus began the crew's journey back to Earth, carrying with them the knowledge of an ancient terror and the hope that humanity could rise to the challenge. The fate of the galaxy now rested on their shoulders, and they were determined to face whatever came next. The galactic warning. The Aurora sped through the vastness of space, its engines pushed to their limits. Captain Elias Gray and his crew were on a mission of utmost urgency to warn the galaxy of the imminent threat posed by the Devourer. The crew, still reeling from their encounter with the monstrous entity, knew they had to act fast. The fate of countless civilizations hung in the balance. As the Aurora approached the nearest UEA outpost, the crew prepared a detailed report of their findings. Dr. Aisha Patel meticulously analyzed the data they had recovered from the Anaran ship, hoping to find any clues on how to stop the Devourer. Lieutenant Mark Tanner, the ship's chief engineer, worked tirelessly to enhance the ship's communication systems, ensuring their warning would reach as many ears as possible. Upon docking at the outpost, Captain Gray immediately contacted UEA High Command. The transmission was relayed to Earth, where the top brass convened an emergency meeting. Gray stood before the council, his voice steady but urgent, as he recounted the crew's harrowing experience and the grim prophecy left by the Anarans. The Devourer is an ancient, unstoppable force, Gray warned. It consumes everything in its path. We must unite to find a way to contain it, or our galaxy will face extinction. The council members listened in stunned silence. The implications of Gray's report were staggering. A unanimous decision was made to mobilize all available resources. The UEA issued a galaxy-wide alert, calling on all member races to prepare for the impending threat. The message was clear. The Devourer was coming, and they had little time to act. Back on the Aurora, the crew worked around the clock. Dr. Patel delved deeper into the Anaran archives, discovering more about the Devourer's origins. The creature was a primordial entity, born from the very fabric of the universe. It thrived on chaos and destruction, feeding off the energy of dying stars and devoured planets. The Anarans had managed to trap it within a temporal prison, but the seal had weakened over millennia, allowing the Devourer to escape. As the galaxy braced for the worst, the UEA began assembling a coalition of fleets from various star systems. The most advanced ships and weaponry were gathered, all aimed at forming a line of defense against the impending threat. Among them were representatives from the Zenari, a race of telepathic beings known for their vast knowledge, and the Varkish, renowned for their technological prowess. Captain Gray, now a key figure in the coalition, met with the leaders of these allied forces. He shared everything the Aurora had uncovered, emphasizing the need for cooperation. The Devourer was unlike any enemy they had faced. Defeating it would require unity and unprecedented collaboration. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Tanner and his engineering team developed a prototype weapon based on the Anaran technology found on the derelict ship. It was a massive energy-based device designed to generate a containment field strong enough to hold the Devourer. They called it the Star Cage. The theory was sound, but its effectiveness against a being as powerful as the Devourer was untested. As the coalition prepared for the upcoming battle, tensions ran high. The Zenari, with their advanced mental abilities, offered to probe the Devourer's mind, hoping to find a weakness. The Varkish, ever practical, focused on enhancing the Star Cage, adding layers of defensive measures and fail-safes. The UEA contributed its best strategists, devising plans to lure the Devourer into the trap. Days turned into weeks as the preparations continued. The galaxy watched with bated breath, aware that this confrontation would determine their fate. The coalition fleets spread out across strategic points, ready to converge at a moment's notice. Scouts were sent to monitor the Devourer's movements, reporting back with every new development. Then, the inevitable happened. A scout ship detected the Devourer entering their galaxy, its massive form casting a shadow across the stars. It was an awe-inspiring yet terrifying sight, a living void that seemed to absorb all light. The creature moved with deliberate intent, its destination unknown, but its purpose clear. The coalition forces rallied, and Captain Gray took command of the main fleet. The Aurora, now equipped with the Star Cage, was at the forefront. The plan was simple yet risky. lure the devourer into the designated area, and activate the star cage. Everything depended on timing and precision. As the coalition ships engaged, the devourer reacted with a ferocity that stunned them all. It unleashed waves of destructive energy, obliterating entire squadrons in seconds. The Zanari attempted to reach its mind, but were overwhelmed by the sheer chaos within. The Varkish's technology proved resilient, but even they struggled against the relentless assault. Captain Gray, undeterred, led the charge. The Aurora maneuvered through the chaos, its crew focused and determined. Dr. Patil monitored the creature's energy patterns, while Tanner prepared the star cage for deployment. The moment of truth was approaching. In a daring move, Gray ordered a full assault, drawing the devourer's attention towards the trap. As the creature lunged at the Aurora, Tanner activated the star cage. A blinding burst of energy erupted, enveloping the devourer in a shimmering field. The galaxy held its breath as the containment field solidified, trapping the beast within. The battle was over, but the victory felt fragile. The devourer, though contained, still struggled against its bonds. The coalition forces knew this was only a temporary solution. The question now was how to keep the devourer contained permanently, or find a way to neutralize it once and for all. As the exhausted crew of the Aurora regrouped, Captain Gray looked out at the stars. The galaxy had faced a great danger and survived, but the future remained uncertain. The devourer was a reminder of the countless mysteries and threats still lurking in the cosmos. Humanity and its allies had proven their resilience, but the journey was far from over. The search for a solution. The galaxy was momentarily safe, but the specter of the devourer loomed large over the coalition. The temporary containment provided by the star cage was a small victory, but it was clear that a more permanent solution was needed. The leaders of the UEA and their allies gathered to discuss their next steps, aware that time was not on their side. Captain Elias Gray, now regarded as a hero across the galaxy, stood before the council with his crew. Dr. Aisha Patel presented her findings, emphasizing the urgency of their situation. The devourer is a being of immense power, she explained. Our data suggests that it draws energy from chaos and destruction, making it nearly impossible to kill. We must find a way to neutralize it completely or risk its eventual escape. The coalition members debated various strategies. The Zanari proposed a psychic network to disrupt the devourer's consciousness, potentially rendering it dormant. The Varkish, ever the engineers, suggested amplifying the star cage's power to strengthen the containment field. The UEA's top scientists explored the possibility of using exotic particles to destabilize the devourer's form. As the discussions continued, a new voice entered the fray. Arin, a mysterious figure from the distant Kaldari system, claimed to have ancient knowledge that could aid their cause. The Kaldari were a secretive race, known for their advanced technology and mystical traditions. Arin revealed that the Kaldari had records of a similar entity from their ancient past, a creature they called the Eater of Worlds. According to Kaldari legend, the Eater of Worlds was sealed away using a device known as the Stellar Key, an artifact capable of locking dimensional gates. Arin proposed that if the Coalition could locate this artifact, they might use it to banish the Devourer to another dimension, far beyond the reach of the galaxy. Intrigued but cautious, Captain Gray and the Council agreed to investigate the Kaldari's claim. A new mission was assembled, with the Aurora at the helm. The crew, joined by Arin and a contingent of Kaldari scholars, set off towards the Kaldari system, a region shrouded in mystery and myths. As they approached the Kaldari homeworld, the crew was awestruck by the sight of its crystalline structures and glowing spires. The planet was a haven of knowledge, with libraries and archives containing millennia of history. Arin led them to the Great Temple of Stars, where the Stellar Key was said to be kept. Within the temple, the crew encountered intricate carvings and relics depicting the Kaldari's ancient battles against the Eater of Worlds. The Stellar Key was described as a multifaceted crystal, capable of bending reality itself. However, the temple priests revealed a troubling truth. The stellar key had been lost in the eons since its creation, its location a mystery even to them. Undeterred, Captain Gray suggested exploring the temple's archives for clues. The crew spent days sifting through ancient texts and holographic records. Dr. Patel, using her expertise in xenolinguistics, deciphered a cryptic map that pointed to a distant star system, known in legends as the Gates of Eternity. It was believed that the stellar key was hidden there, protected by an ancient guardian. With a new destination in mind, the Aurora set course for the Gates of Eternity. The journey was perilous, filled with treacherous space anomalies and gravitational distortions. As they navigated these dangers, the crew grew closer, united by their shared mission. Captain Gray, ever the stalwart leader, kept morale high, reminding them of the stakes and the importance of their quest. Upon arrival at the Gates of Eternity, the crew discovered a massive ancient structure floating in the void. It was a colossal ring, covered in arcane symbols and radiating an otherworldly energy. As the Aurora approached, the structure activated, opening a portal to a pocket dimension. The crew prepared for what lay beyond, aware that they might be stepping into a place beyond comprehension. Crossing through the portal, they found themselves in a surreal landscape, a realm of shifting colors and shapes, where the laws of physics seemed to bend. In the center of this dimension stood a towering figure, the guardian of the stellar key. It was an enigmatic entity, composed of light and shadow, its presence both awe-inspiring and intimidating. The guardian spoke in a voice that resonated through the minds of the crew, challenging them to prove their worthiness. It posed a series of trials, testing their resolve, intellect, and unity. Each challenge was a reflection of the galaxy's diversity and the strength found in cooperation. The crew worked together, drawing on their varied skills and experiences to overcome the trials. Finally, the Guardian presented the last challenge, a riddle that required understanding the nature of existence itself. Dr. Patel, with her deep knowledge of the cosmos, provided the answer, unlocking the final path to the stellar key. The Guardian, satisfied with their determination and unity, bestowed the artifact upon them. It was a beautiful crystal, shimmering with a spectrum of colors, its surface etched with intricate patterns. With the stellar key in their possession, the Aurora returned to their reality, closing the portal behind them. The crew breathed a sigh of relief, knowing they had a powerful tool to use against the Devourer. However, the true challenge still lay ahead. They had to use the stellar key to banish the Devourer before it could escape its temporary prison. The Coalition reconvened, and Captain Gray presented the stellar key. The plan was set in motion. They would lure the Devourer to a desolate system and use the artifact to open a dimensional gate, trapping the entity in a realm where it could do no harm. The Coalition forces, bolstered by the presence of the Kaldari and their advanced technology, prepared for the final confrontation. As the day of reckoning approached, the galaxy watched and waited. The Coalition had one shot at success, and failure was not an option. The fate of countless worlds depended on the actions of a few brave souls aboard the Aurora and their allies. The final stand. The galaxy held its breath as the Coalition forces assembled for the final showdown with the Devourer. The desolate system chosen for the confrontation was far from inhabited worlds, minimizing the risk to civilian populations. The Aurora, carrying the stellar key, led the Coalition fleet. The tension was palpable. Everyone knew this was their last chance to rid the galaxy of the monstrous entity. Captain Elias Gray stood on the bridge of the Aurora, his face set in grim determination. The crew had prepared meticulously for this moment. Dr. Aisha Patel monitored the energy readings from the stellar key, ensuring it was stable and ready for activation. Lieutenant Mark Tanner double-checked the ship's systems, making sure everything was in working order for the complex maneuver ahead. As the fleet took their positions, the first signs of the Devourer's approach appeared on their sensors. The temperature in the command center seemed to drop as the ship's screens displayed the massive entity. The Devourer, a void of darkness and chaos, loomed large, its form an ever-shifting mass of shadow and energy. Its presence was overwhelming, a palpable force that made even the bravest hearts waver. The plan was simple yet fraught with danger. Draw the Devourer into the designated area and activate the stellar key to open a dimensional gate. The Coalition ships would then create a diversion, distracting the entity long enough for the Aurora to complete the ritual. Every detail had been rehearsed, but the unpredictability of the Devourer made the outcome uncertain. The battle began with a coordinated assault from the Coalition fleet. Advanced weaponry from the Varkish ships, combined with telepathic attacks from the Zanari, created a dazzling display of firepower. The Devourer responded with terrifying ferocity, releasing waves of destructive energy that tore through the Coalition ranks. Ships disintegrated under the onslaught, but the crews fought valiantly, holding their ground. As the Aurora closed in on the designated area, Captain Gray gave the order to initiate the stellar key. The artifact, placed at the heart of the ship, began to glow with an ethereal light. Dr. Petal chanted an ancient incantation, her voice resonating with the energy of the key. The air around the device crackled with power, and the ship's systems hummed with a buildup of energy. The Devourer, sensing the activation of the key, turned its attention to the Aurora. The creature's rage was palpable, its form swelling with chaotic energy. The Coalition forces intensified their attacks, drawing the Devourer's ire. The Zanari, pooling their psychic powers, launched a massive mental assault, causing the entity to writhe in pain. The Varkish deployed their most advanced drones, unleashing a barrage of plasma fire. Despite the relentless assault, the Devourer continued its advance. The Aurora shook violently as the entity's tendrils lashed out, striking the ship. Alarms blared, and the crew struggled to maintain control. Tanner worked frantically, stabilizing the ship's systems and keeping the stellar key operational. The pressure was immense, but the crew's resolve never wavered. At the critical moment, the stellar key reached its peak. A beam of blinding light shot from the artifact, piercing the void. The dimensional gate began to open, a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to pull at the very fabric of reality. The Devourer, drawn by the irresistible force, struggled against its fate. The Coalition forces redoubled their efforts, creating a barrier around the vortex to ensure the entity's entrapment. As the gate widened, the Devourer's form began to distort. The creature emitted a deafening roar, a sound that reverberated across the galaxy. The entity's resistance was fierce, but the pull of the gate was inexorable. Slowly, inexorably, the Devourer was drawn into the vortex, its shadowy form stretched and twisted, consumed by the light of the stellar key. The crew of the Aurora watched in awe and trepidation as the Devourer was swallowed by the gate. The dimensional rift sealed with a final, blinding flash, leaving only silence in its wake. The battle was over, and the galaxy was safe. For now, exhausted but relieved, Captain Gray and his crew took stock of their victory. The cost had been high. Many ships and lives were lost in the battle. Yet, the Coalition had succeeded in the face of insurmountable odds. The Devourer was banished to another dimension, beyond the reach of their universe. As the Coalition fleet regrouped, messages of gratitude and celebration flooded in from across the galaxy. The UEA, along with its allies, held a ceremony to honor the brave souls who fought in the battle. The Aurora and its crew were hailed as heroes, their names etched into the annals of history. Despite the victory, Captain Gray knew that the threat of the Devourer could never truly be forgotten. The stellar key was returned to the Caldari, safeguarded in their ancient vaults. The Coalition remained vigilant, aware that the universe held many other dangers yet to be discovered. In the aftermath, the galaxy began to rebuild. The Coalition's unity had proven invaluable, and efforts were made to strengthen these bonds. The UEA, Zanari, Varkish, Caldari, and countless other races pledged to continue working together, ensuring a future of peace and cooperation. As the Aurora set off on its next mission, Captain Gray looked out at the stars. The galaxy was vast and full of mysteries, but humanity and its allies had shown that they could face any challenge. The crew, united by their experiences, stood ready to explore the unknown, knowing that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. Echoes of the past. With the devourer banished and the immediate threat neutralized, the galaxy slowly began to recover. The Coalition's victory had sparked a wave of hope and optimism, but the scars of the conflict ran deep. Many worlds mourned their losses, and the task of rebuilding was immense. The United Earth Alliance, UEA, and its allies faced the daunting challenge of restoring peace and stability across the stars. Captain Elias Gray and the crew of the Aurora became symbols of unity and resilience. As they returned to Earth, they were greeted with widespread acclaim. Ceremonies and parades celebrated their heroism, and the story of their battle against the devourer spread far and wide. However, beneath the surface of these celebrations, deeper questions lingered. Questions about the nature of the devourer and the consequences of its banishment. Dr. Aisha Patel, now regarded as one of the leading minds in the study of extraterrestrial entities, dedicated herself to understanding the devourer's origins. Working alongside scientists from across the Coalition, she sought to piece together the puzzle of its existence. Her research uncovered ancient records and myths from various civilizations, all pointing to the existence of similar beings throughout the galaxy's history. These entities, often described as harbingers of destruction, seemed to emerge in times of great turmoil, feeding on the chaos they sowed. The discovery of these records raised concerns among the Coalition's leaders. The possibility that other entities like the devourer might exist or arise in the future could not be ignored. In response, the Coalition established a new organization, the Galactic Defense Initiative, GDI, tasked with monitoring and protecting the galaxy from such threats. The GDI became a symbol of the Coalition's commitment to safeguarding peace, with Captain Gray appointed as one of its key advisors. As the GDI began its work, another unexpected development occurred. Erin, a Kaldari mystic who had helped locate the stellar key, revealed that the Kaldari had long guarded knowledge of other dimensions and the beings that dwelled within them. This revelation prompted a wave of interest in Kaldari mysticism and technology. The Kaldari, once an enigmatic and secretive race, began to share their knowledge more openly, forging new alliances and friendships across the galaxy. However, not all was harmonious. The aftermath of the battle against the devourer brought political tensions to the forefront. Some member worlds of the Coalition began to question the UEA's leadership role, arguing that humanity's aggressive tactics and dominance were overbearing. The Zanari, known for their peaceful and diplomatic ways, voiced concerns about the use of weapons like the Stellar Key, fearing they might attract further threats from other dimensions. These tensions culminated in a heated debate at the Coalition Council. Captain Gray, representing the UEA, spoke passionately about the need for unity and cooperation. He emphasized that the battle against the devourer was not just a victory for humanity, but for all the Coalition's races. His words resonated with many, but the underlying unease remained. In the midst of these political challenges, the Aurora embarked on a new mission. The crew, now seasoned veterans, set out to explore a mysterious signal originating from a distant sector. This signal, discovered during the battle with the devourer, had been overlooked in the chaos, but now intrigued the Coalition. It seemed to contain a message, possibly a distress call, or a warning from an unknown civilization. As the Aurora approached the source of the signal, the crew prepared for the unknown. The journey took them to the fringes of the galaxy, a region rarely explored and filled with strange phenomena. The signal led them to a barren, lifeless planet, where they discovered a massive underground structure. The architecture was unlike anything they had seen before, an ancient, advanced design that hinted at a long-lost civilization. Inside the structure, the crew found a chamber filled with artifacts and inscriptions. Dr. Patel, with her expertise in xenolinguistics, began deciphering the inscriptions. They told a tale of a civilization that had faced a threat similar to the devourer, a cosmic entity that brought destruction to their world. The inscription spoke of a device, a celestial beacon, used to send a warning to other civilizations, urging them to unite against the threat. The discovery of the celestial beacon and the message it carried sent shockwaves through the coalition. It was a stark reminder that the Devourer was not an isolated phenomenon. The galaxy had faced similar threats before, and it might again. The coalition's leaders realized that they needed to be prepared, not just for the present but for the future. The GDI took immediate action, working to strengthen the coalition's defenses and explore other dimensions for potential threats. The Caldari shared their knowledge of dimensional physics, helping to develop new technologies for detecting and countering interdimensional entities. The coalition also established a network of observatories and listening posts across the galaxy, monitoring for any signs of emerging dangers. Despite these precautions, uncertainty lingered. The battle against the Devourer had shown that even the mightiest of threats could be confronted and defeated, but it had also revealed the galaxy's vulnerability. The coalition's unity had been its greatest strength, but it was also fragile, threatened by political divisions and differing philosophies. As the Aurora returned from its mission, the crew reflected on the journey. Captain Gray, ever the stoic leader, knew that their work was far from over. The galaxy was a vast, mysterious place, full of wonders and dangers. The crew's bond had grown stronger, forged in the fires of battle, and the shared quest for knowledge. They were explorers, protectors, and, above all, a family. The coalition continued to work towards a brighter future, aware that the echoes of the past could still reach them. The lessons learned from the Devourer and the ancient civilization's message were clear. Vigilance, cooperation, and preparedness were essential. The galaxy would always face new challenges, but with unity and determination, it could overcome them. A new dawn. The galaxy's scars from the battle with the Devourer were still fresh, but the coalition was determined to heal and grow stronger. The discovery of the celestial beacon and the warning it carried had sparked a new era of cooperation and vigilance. The Galactic Defense Initiative, GDI, worked tirelessly to fortify the galaxy's defenses and explore new dimensions, seeking to understand and prepare for potential threats. The coalition, once a loose alliance of diverse species, began to coalesce into a more unified force. Captain Elias Gray and the crew of the Aurora played a crucial role in this transformation. Their status as heroes and pioneers gave them a unique influence within the coalition. They became ambassadors of unity, traveling to different worlds and sharing their experiences. Their stories inspired hope and strengthened the resolve of countless beings across the galaxy. As the coalition worked to fortify its defenses, the Caldari shared more of their advanced knowledge. Their understanding of dimensional physics and ancient technologies became invaluable in developing new weapons and shields capable of countering interdimensional threats. The GDI established a series of outposts and research stations along the galaxy's fringe, where scientists and engineers worked to unlock the mysteries of other dimensions. The Aurora was frequently dispatched to these outposts, exploring uncharted territories and gathering data on potential threats. Each mission was a journey into the unknown, fraught with challenges and discoveries. The crew encountered strange phenomena, from worlds with time-distorting anomalies to regions where reality itself seemed to warp and bend. These encounters expanded the coalition's knowledge and understanding, but they also revealed just how little they knew about the universe's deeper mysteries. One of the most significant discoveries came during an exploration of a particularly unstable region near the galactic core. The Aurora detected a series of anomalies that appeared to be connected to a distant, parallel dimension. Dr. Aisha Patel, who had become an expert in dimensional studies, led the investigation. The anomalies exhibited properties similar to those of the Devourer's energy signature, raising concerns that another entity might be lurking in this parallel dimension. Working closely with Caldari scientists, Dr. Patel devised a method to safely probe the anomalies. The team developed a specialized probe, equipped with advanced sensors and shielding, capable of withstanding the intense energies at the anomaly's core. The Aurora launched the probe, and as it entered the anomaly, the crew watched in tense anticipation. The probe transmitted data that suggested the presence of a massive structure within the parallel dimension. The structure appeared to be a gateway or portal, similar in design to the dimensional gate used to banish the Devourer. This discovery raised profound questions. Was this another trap for a cosmic entity? Had other civilizations faced similar threats and taken similar measures? The implications were staggering. If the structure was indeed a gateway, it might lead to a realm inhabited by entities like the Devourer. The coalition's leaders convened an emergency session to discuss the findings. The debate was intense, with some advocating for further exploration and others urging caution. The possibility of encountering another Devourer-like entity was terrifying, but the coalition couldn't ignore the potential threat. Ultimately, the decision was made to proceed with caution. The GDI launched a comprehensive research initiative to study the anomalies and the structure. Teams of scientists, engineers, and diplomats from across the coalition were assembled, tasked with understanding the nature of the parallel dimension and the entities within it. The goal was not just to protect the galaxy, but to gain a deeper understanding of the universe's fundamental nature. As these efforts unfolded, the coalition also focused on strengthening its internal bonds. The political tensions that had surfaced after the battle with the Devourer were addressed through dialogue and diplomacy. The UEA, Zenari, Varkish, and other member worlds worked to create a more balanced and equitable governance structure. A new coalition council was formed, with representatives from all member species, ensuring that every voice was heard and respected. The coalition's unity and cooperation became a beacon of hope for the galaxy. The lessons learned from the Devourer and the Celestial Beacon had not been forgotten. The coalition's leaders emphasized the importance of vigilance and preparedness, while also fostering a spirit of exploration and curiosity. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders, and the coalition was determined to explore it together. The Aurora continued its missions, exploring new frontiers and encountering new species. Each journey brought new challenges and discoveries, deepening the crew's understanding of the galaxy and its many inhabitants. Captain Gray, ever the stoic leader, guided his crew with wisdom and courage. He knew that the galaxy's future depended on their willingness to face the unknown and embrace the possibilities it held. As the coalition moved forward, the galaxy entered a new era. The coalition's unity and strength were a testament to the power of cooperation and the resilience of its people. The galaxy was still full of mysteries and potential threats, but the coalition was ready to face them. The GDI, the Coalition Council, and the brave explorers of the Aurora stood as guardians of peace and protectors of the galaxy's future. Beyond the horizon, as the coalition delved deeper into the mysteries of the parallel dimension, the Aurora once again found itself at the forefront of exploration. The data gathered from the anomalies near the galactic core had only scratched the surface of what lay beyond. The possibility of encountering another Devourer-like entity, or perhaps something entirely different, drove the coalition's efforts. The crew of the Aurora, seasoned by their past encounters, prepared for a journey into the unknown. The mission to explore the parallel dimension was named Operation Horizon. It was an unprecedented endeavor, combining the expertise of scientists, diplomats, and military personnel from across the coalition. Dr. Aisha Patel, with her deep understanding of dimensional physics, was appointed as the mission's lead scientist. Captain Elias Gray would command the Aurora, with Erin, the Kaldari mystic, serving as an advisor. The Aurora was outfitted with the latest technology, including advanced sensors, shields, and communication systems designed to operate in the unstable environment of the parallel dimension. The crew knew the risks. They could encounter anything from temporal anomalies to hostile entities, but they also knew the importance of their mission. The knowledge they gained could protect the galaxy from future threats and expand the coalition's understanding of the universe. As the Aurora approached the largest anomaly, the crew felt a mix of anticipation and apprehension. The anomaly was a swirling vortex of energy, pulsating with a strange, otherworldly light. Dr. Patel and her team worked to stabilize the probe's signal, allowing them to open a stable gateway. The moment the gateway stabilized, the aurora crossed the threshold into the parallel dimension. The transition was seamless, yet the difference was immediately noticeable. The parallel dimension was a realm of vivid colors and strange phenomena. The sky above was a cascade of shifting hues, and the ground beneath was a landscape of crystalline structures and glowing flora. The laws of physics seemed to operate differently here. Gravity was lighter, and time itself felt malleable. As the aurora ventured deeper, they discovered signs of a long-lost civilization. Ruins of grand cities and structures dotted the landscape, hinting at a once great society. The crew began to explore these ruins, documenting everything they found. They uncovered inscriptions and artifacts that suggested the civilization had been aware of the Devourer and other cosmic entities. The inscriptions spoke of a great guardian, a being or construct that had once protected this dimension from external threats. Erin, using his Caldari knowledge, deciphered many of the ancient texts. They told a tale of a golden age, where the inhabitants of this dimension thrived under the guidance of the Great Guardian. However, something had happened, an event described as the Great Rift. The Guardian had disappeared, and without its protection, the civilization had fallen into decline. The texts were unclear on the specifics, but they hinted at a connection between the Great Rift and the anomalies that now dotted the galaxy. The discovery of the Great Guardian's existence raised new questions. What was the Guardian? Was it a sentient being, a machine, or something else entirely? And most importantly, could it still be found? The crew of the Aurora knew that if the Guardian could be located and reactivated, it might provide the key to understanding and defending against cosmic threats. As the Aurora continued its exploration, they detected a faint signal, a beacon, perhaps, similar to the celestial beacon they had found before. The signal led them to a massive structure, half buried in a crystalline valley. The structure was unlike anything they had seen before. It was a colossal tower, covered in intricate carvings and glyphs. The energy emanating from it was immense, yet controlled, as if the structure itself was alive. The crew approached the tower with caution. Dr. Patel and her team analyzed the readings, confirming that the tower was the source of the signal. As they entered, they found a central chamber filled with advanced machinery and a pedestal at its center. On the pedestal lay a large crystalline artifact, pulsating with a gentle blue light. Erin recognized the artifact as the Heart of the Guardian, an ancient Caldari relic. It was said to be the source of the Guardian's power, capable of controlling the energies of the dimension. The presence of the heart confirmed that the Great Guardian was indeed a construct, a powerful protector created by an advanced civilization. Captain Gray, understanding the significance of the discovery, made the decision to activate the heart. Dr. Patel, with the help of Erin and the Caldari knowledge, carefully interfaced with the artifact. As they activated it, the entire structure hummed to life. The energy within the tower surged, and the walls glowed with symbols and runes. The heart projected a holographic image of a being, tall, majestic, and serene. It was the Guardian, or at least a representation of it. The Guardian spoke, its voice resonating with a calm yet powerful presence. It revealed that it had been created to protect the galaxy from cosmic threats, including entities like the Devourer. However, during the Great Rift, a catastrophic event that had torn through the dimension, the Guardian had been deactivated and its power source, the heart, hidden to prevent misuse. The Guardian explained that the anomalies and the presence of the Devourer were symptoms of a larger cosmic cycle, a cycle of creation and destruction that occurred across multiple dimensions. The Devourer was just one of many entities born from this cycle. The Guardian's role had been to maintain balance, but with its deactivation, the balance had been disrupted. The revelation was both enlightening and terrifying. The Coalition now understood that the galaxy was part of a larger, interconnected multiverse, where cosmic forces constantly interacted. The presence of entities like the Devourer was not an anomaly, but a natural occurrence in this vast, complex system. With the Guardian reactivated, the Coalition gained a powerful ally. The Guardian's knowledge and abilities could help protect the galaxy from future threats. However, the crew of the Aurora knew that this was just the beginning. The Guardian's existence confirmed that the galaxy was part of a larger cosmic order, and the Coalition's understanding of the universe was still limited. As the Aurora prepared to return, Captain Gray reflected on their journey. They had uncovered ancient secrets, faced unimaginable threats, and forged new alliances. The galaxy was vast and full of mysteries, but the Coalition had proven that it could stand united in the face of adversity. The return to the Coalition was met with celebration and contemplation. The discovery of the Guardian and the revelations about the multiverse had profound implications. The Coalition's leaders understood that they had a responsibility to safeguard not just their galaxy, but potentially others as well. The GDI expanded its mission, focusing on exploring and understanding the multiverse, with the Guardian serving as a guide and protector. The story of the Aurora and its crew became legend, a tale of courage, discovery, and unity. As they looked to the stars, they knew that their journey was far from over. The galaxy and the multiverse beyond it held countless mysteries, waiting to be explored, and with the Coalition standing together, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay beyond the horizon.